Hello and welcome to the first episode of my Kerbal Space Program tutorials/guides. In this first episode, we'll be discussing maintaining a stable orbit around Kerbin and possibly having enough fuel to go onward to Mun, Minmus, and beyond. This guide will simply cover rockets and not SSTOs. First of all, you want to activate your SAS systems, throttle yourself up, activate your rockets, and begin boosting upward. These booster stages will be used as a main way of maintaining a higher efficiency at an upper stage, which will be our middle rocket, as you can see here. That rocket will be used at a higher orbit, that way it will be able to propel us further and provide more delta V. If we had all three on right now, it would supervise quite a bit of delta V, however it would be more useful to have two fire than one. You can see that we have two stacked decouplers here. This will decouple. Afterwards, we will decouple this stage and activate a Terrier engine. You may not have this yet, in which case you can use a vectoring engine, like the swivel. You want to have a pretty high gimbal on that, though. Generally, booster stages don't have a super high gimbal per each rocket, however they have multiple rockets. You could just have another fuel rocket with a swivel, and it will work just about the same as this. We're almost done with our first stage, which will be the booster stage. Once we finish going through this stage, we will decouple, fire the secondary stage. As you can tell, we've already gained the atmosphere of 27,000 meters. Decouple, fire, and now we are down to our main rocket. Those boosters will fall back to the Earth and probably kill 50 million people. Yay. There's only like 10 people and they can be ran over by trucks, so that should not be an issue for them. We'll proceed to provide upward thrust and start to angle ourselves up here in the upper atmosphere, where there's not nearly as dense air to sort of break our craft up a little bit more. If you want to try and do this in an earlier atmospheric condition, you are free to do so. However, there is a chance that you could flip your vehicle. If you're doing career mode, that would be a great loss of money. If you're doing science mode, it could be a little bit of an annoyance. That's about it, but you'll have more science equipment. I'm doing this in sandbox mode just to simply provide to you the possibility that this is possible. You could of course have some service bays before the heat shield and put science in there. However, this just covers the very basics of providing a stable orbit. Now we are in space, so we are going to begin to heavily angle ourselves to the side, providing complete 90-degree angle thrust to the side. At full throttle, we will be moving sideways along that. We've already got extremely high height going here, which is not what I was aiming for. However, this is not about stable orbit currently. You can of course have a way more stable orbit by letting it get to 70, then wait until you reach about a minute away from your apoapsis, then firing at a vertical angle upward, or sideways. We're going to ditch this stage and begin the Terrier stage. This has quite a small amount of fuel overall, however it will be able to provide lots of delta V for us, considering it is all the way up in space. As I do this, I'm going to burn this in a downward angle to bring this down more, while also providing quite a bit of thrust along the curvature of the planet. This will save us fuel and make our orbit a little bit less eccentric. As you can see, we're about halfway around now, and we obviously have more than enough fuel to burn that far. We could go all the way to the Mun, however that's not the goal, and we are not equipped to go to the Mun. We could do a flyby, possibly. However, we don't know how much delta V we have, and if we don't make it, therefore it could be a risk to one of our best pilots, Jebediah Kerman. As you can see, we have a periapsis that is going to about hit and bottom out at, we're going to raise up to 90, and now we're going to go ahead and stop that actually. and warp all the way around. And burn retrograde right at this point. That will bring our orbit down more. So we have 93. And I'll be entering orbit velocity. So this is relatively fair here. This is not perfect, however this is functional. We could of course go around more and more, and burn more and more inward. For most fuel efficiency for re-entry, we're going to want to wait until we reach the apoapsis which I accidentally went by. Burn retrograde a tiny bit. And now we'll be entering into the planet. Now of course we don't want to land on the dark side. So I'm taking the liberty to land us in the equivalent of Africa mixed with Asia in a very weird sort of style. And a little bit of Europe connected by a landmass completely, with no UK. So we have spare fuel. We could choose to ditch this stage now, or we could go ahead and let us re-enter the atmosphere. Wait until we hit a bit of a lower stage where we'll start exiting. And right about at the 50,000 meter mark, exactly, you will start getting heavy re-entry effects due to the fact that you're hitting actual atmosphere. So we'll go ahead and activate our thrusters now to try and burn off some of this. Now I could have actually landed this with the KSC all over again. However, I was not thinking too much, and therefore I just did that. I'm going to ditch that stage, since that could explode and cause issues. And now we have a very, very suitable aerodynamic shape, if you would say, here, where this ablator is going to burn off, but our actual craft behind will be fine, along with our parachute, hopefully. We will definitely find it's not getting any heating effects, and we will slow down enough that our pod could survive along with the parachute. So there is no worry here, we can go ahead and 4 times speed it. We will splash down in the middle of the ocean. And we'll activate the actual chute at 5,000 meters. And that will just sort of act as a bit of a drag for now. And then it will pull the rest of the way. And we'll be slowed down the rest of the way. Now it's just a matter of waiting for splashdown, which will take about 30 seconds tops. That is how to achieve an orbit and stable orbit. That is the most basic rocket you can pretty much make that has a little bit of excess fuel for anything else you'd want. So as you can tell, it is not at all hard to achieve a stable orbit in this game, and it's probably the most basic thing to do other than blow up Kerbals. Then again, they are pretty much the most elastic things possible, and also pretty much invincible. Of course, if you're doing science, you could take crew reports and stuff like that. Bring up science equipment and service bays, preferably. That way you can keep it safe inside, away from the heat, and balance stuff out a little bit better. But other than that, this is pretty much the basic essentials of Space Engineers, Kerbal Space Program, excuse me. And that will end this tutorial as soon as we splash down. So thank you for watching. Please check out my website, www.spacegamesguides.com. And yes, I will see you guys in the next video, which will be all about the basic controls, like creating maneuver nodes and things like that. Some more efficiency things of getting to the mun when you should launch, stuff like that, angling, and possibly even going to Minimus after that in the next video, and then the rest of the solar system. And after that, maybe I'll even make it harder by doing some mods. Who knows? Like the realistic solar system mod. However, this is just covering the basics of the vanilla game, so thank you for watching, and I guess I'll let my camera out for a little bit of a swim, and that's it. Bye bye, guys.